Hey y'all. All right. Let's see. Do we have it? Okay, MD Terp is on time. Yes, he says let's get into it. Okay, we are live. I got my girls with me. Some of y'all, MD Terp, I know you come in for the Queen Sugar recaps. But I have to add my girl Charlotte. Char. Hey girl, how you doing?
Hey y'all, how y'all doing?
Okay, we got Ashley and Season. How y'all ladies doing?
We good. We ready for this recap.
Okay,
Yep.
you know what? I'm gonna be
No,
honest. I don't feel like they gave us a lot to chew on. Is that just
no,
me? Okay,
No.
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 Okay. So let's start off with I like the fact that they start off with Tiffany, Kelly, and Derek. I like that just for some reason. I don't know why I liked it, but I think it's gonna be another season where we see very little of them, right?
Or that's probably why they started off with them to like
Yeah.
maybe give them their time to shine for the farewell season because we've been asking for them, especially
Yeah.
Kelly, for the longest time.
Mhm.
Yeah. But I think it was helpful because it did kind of center things in the fact that there's a 2 month fast forward from the last episode that we saw.
Oh,
Would have,
that's what it was?
yeah, because they said that Molly had been kind of in her funk for 2 months.
Mm,
And I wish they would have kind of fast forwarded just a smidge more. But, Insecure is not like a Tyler Perry show where it's like 3 days is one episode. You know what I'm saying? They do the
right.
time jumping around, and it looks like from the previews they're going to do that. Hey, Marcus. But okay, let's start off with Tiffany real quick. She seems like she's in a better place. She's back to her old ways. Any comments about Tiffany?
No,
No,
no.
no, didn't really.
I mean, they just didn't give us anything to comment on. She was the same as she's
Yeah,
always been in other. There was nothing like. I wish they would have mentioned the postpartum at all. Like you guys only had what 15 minutes of y'all searching for her. She's going through postpartum, and then you start off with her just being okay and back to herself. It's like that's not reality. Come on now, like
yeah,
it just wasn't.
yeah. They didn't really give us much for her. We did find out
Yeah.
that she's an AK. I don't know if we knew that already. Let me just
I
start
knew
go
that.
here though on the
They
show.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I knew that she was
Okay.
on the show. So I was like, okay, they gonna have her in pink and green in every scene. But they didn't. Then they went in on Omegas a little bit, but that was really it. They didn't really have no other Greek stuff.
Yeah, let me shout. It says empty term says, "Well, damn, all of y'all having face tonight. Thank you, 33. Okay, well, we did
Listen,
learn. Yeah,
we
Ashley, yes,
cannot
yeah,
be from LA watching the LA show and not
True.
looking, okay? We
yeah,
just
yeah.
True.
not.
Caesar said we're gonna be back to our bummy selves on Tuesday. I don't know about all that, but we definitely don't have we can't recap Insecure and not have it somewhat together.
Yeah, we got
But
to put on for the LA chicks.
All day.
Basically.
okay, hey Karina. Okay, now let me say this. I feel like I learned that they all went to Stanford together. Did we know that prior to this episode? Or did I miss something?
Yeah,
I
see,
feel
I
like
knew
I
she went to.
knew, but not like this. Like I knew they went to college together. That's where they met. But I don't remember them saying Stanford.
Yeah.
Same,
I
same.
Okay.
was I was like the Stanford, like
Yeah. Stanford is a very prestigious
Stanford,
university.
Stanford.
Not
It
a
maybe
community
wasn't
college.
mapping to me that Issa D is a Stanford alumni in this show. The math is not math. It's been like, what did she study? Did she study the violin? Like, what was her background? Because this
That's what
whole
I
time she's been
said.
broke and barely employed, and she's a whole ass Stanford alumni. Like,
That's
what
what
the
I
Right.
fuck?
I
said. I was like,
was
maybe
it
she didn't
nonprofit
graduate.
work?
Well, it's a reunion. You have to graduate to come back to your reunion.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So that was
That other
interesting.
girl didn't graduate. Cheyenne, what's her
Cheyenne did
name?
not graduate, but she
No.
did crash it. So that's a different story.
Okay. I'm gonna wait till get to
But
her.
okay, the 33 says I must have went missed at Stanford being the college I went to. Yeah, that was news to me. And I'm like, okay, one of you guys let us know that Issa Rae in real life went to Stanford. But
Mm-hmm.
I think for her, like going to Stanford, was surprising the way her character has panned out. But okay, maybe I'm just a little, I don't know, maybe it's elitist of me to expected more of her coming from Stanford. But I thought that the episode was giving a lot of awkwardness the whole time. Like I just was like, give us something, give us something, give us something. But before we get to the awkwardness, can I just talk about Cheyenne? I thought Cheyenne was lit as fuck. Like she was the life of the party.
Yeah. I was almost like, wait, why is she not y'all's friend in LA? But I guess because she stayed in the Bay, but she just felt like a perfect blend for their friends group.
Yeah.
At first sight.
At first, yeah. But I mean, I feel like, well, let me get to that in a second. But I felt like her energy was needed for the episode because even Kelly was like kind of dialed back a little bit. I know they had the whole fake death thing, which was bizarre to me.
Yeah.
I didn't think that they really pulled that off comedically as much as maybe they were trying to. But I mean, it was just very much subdued. And I feel like for the last season and the first episode, I wanted a little bit more of something. What, let me just go around the room and in the comments you guys let me know, am I being too harsh? What is something that you felt like was you needed from this episode, and did you get it? Let's start with you, Ashley.
I needed more comedy. I needed the storyline to flow better. I needed it to make sense, and I got none of that. Like I think this was such a lackluster episode. I was really disappointed, especially it being its opening, as big as they've been promoting it. You know, like you guys have already not had Kelly have any type of storyline, and then in the first episode, you gonna kill her off. You know, but not really kill her off. It didn't make sense. I don't know.
It felt like
not a good episode.
It felt like they wrote this like 2 months into the pandemic, and they were like, "I'm fucking like depressed. I'm like, I'm not feeling productive. We got to get this show out. Motherfuckers is on my ass about getting another season." Like it felt phoned in a little bit.
Yeah.
Let me see. Karina says, I agree, Reese. It did seem subdued. It also looked like a movie. I thought it was shot beautifully. MD Terp says, I wanted more for Kelly. I think we asked for that every damn season. We ask for more Kelly, and we don't get more Kelly. Now, Natasha Rothwell has an increased prominent role, like being an I think she's an executive producer or supervising producer. She does all kinds of things, writes for the show. But for fuck's sake, write your own character into the show. But I don't think, well, maybe we might get that with the whole podcast thing. MD Terp says, yeah, it wasn't a great first episode. And we be clear, we're all Insecure fans. We're not saying this from hate, you know. MD Terp says, yeah, it wasn't a great first episode. Music was on point as usual, and I love Lawrence being okay. We're gonna get to Lawrence. Okay, Shar, what did you need from this episode, and did you get it? I'm not gonna ask leading questions about did you not get it. What did you get from it?
So I definitely got that Issa and Molly are still in this weird place in their friendship, but I felt like they brought us a little more over the hump on where they are and their willingness to communicate about like the downfall of their friendship. What I did not get was a clear update on where Lawrence and Issa are present day. So like they gave us nothing in the episode, and then they close it out with this ambiguous question mark /
But they always bring Lawrence into the season with this whole like last 90 seconds him and Issa are like looking at each other, and it's like okay, here we go with Lawrence and Issa again.
I need more like I was pregnant. Like, give me something. Are you a stepmother? Like, tell me something.
Right. Karina says, I agree. Lackluster indeed. Also noticed it was written by Amy A. And in every season, Issa Rae always writes first episode. Maybe that's what was missing because it wasn't Issa's, like, you know, baby in this case. Clark says started slow, picked up a bit. It was a good show. I'm not saying it wasn't a good show. I just felt like it was like an episode 3 or 4. It wasn't like a season premiere of the like final season. Okay, season, your thoughts. I already know you're gonna go in. Go ahead.
I'm not gonna go in because I did have low expectations, but I mean, I guess I feel like I should have watched the last episode of last season because I don't remember Molly and old boy breaking up, so I didn't know that that happened. And I like to know how much time has passed. So because I didn't know Molly and the dude broke up, the 2 months didn't even click for me. I am kind of happy that they are trying to. What it did give me is I didn't want it to be Issa versus Molly for a whole fucking season.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
because that was played out. We don't.
that was my main thing. I wanted to see that, like, see where that's going and not have that drug out a whole season. And I wanted to see the other characters. So
Yeah.
if Tiffany and her husband and their sweet little baby are all good now, great. Sometimes that's how motherhood is.
Yeah.
Some shit that was bothering you 2-3 weeks ago or a month ago is old news. So I'm not really tripping off that storyline. They gave us so much Kelly, but it was fucking stupid. It was just dumb. I was like, come on. Like, okay, it's an ongoing joke, but then she booty hurt about it at some point. So it was like,
Yeah,
okay.
I didn't think that was like the best use of Kelly in that.
Right. And I loved her. I watched her on White Lotus. So
Yeah. Yeah.
to
She's
see
great.
her be so underused is like, oh,
And
but
she's a
thanks for
writer on the
trying.
show, so that's just weird to me that she's consistently underutilized,
Yeah.
given that she's in the writers' room.
Mhm.
But speaking of not having Molly and Issa, Sharon says it was about forgiveness and moving forward. I liked it; it was real. And now, see, if you didn't watch the season finale, it seemed like the last scene of the season finale was Issa and Molly having dinner at their favorite
Mhm.
Ethiopian restaurant. And they didn't show like the dialogue in that, but it did seem like, okay, well, maybe they were going to be moving forward. So I was a little surprised that they were still in this awkward place, but I feel like they at least got through it throughout the episode. But they kind of have had these starts and stops. Just generally, like even last season, they kind of had a kiki. They was doing the wobble or the electric slide, and they got into it. So I hope they don't do that again this season. But I just. But okay, let's talk about Molly. So Molly is definitely feeling at her most insecure that we've seen. Nothing says breakup like inspirational quotes. Okay,
Hello.
when a black woman is sharing inspirational quotes on Instagram, she is not inspired. Okay, Charlotte. No, for no particular reason, you lead us off on that. What was your reaction to kind of where Molly is in this season as we start off this season?
I'm definitely an inspirational quote poster. So I feel the shade. No, I wanted more from Molly. I like agreeing with Season. I didn't even know her and Andrew broke up.
Yeah.
So
it was ambiguous. It was
Okay.
like he said, "What are you fighting for?" or "Do you even want this?" something like that, and that was like the last they showed of it. So we
Okay.
didn't get 100% confirmation, but yeah.
Right. So I wanted to be brought up to date about that storyline. I would like to know about this new guy who's trying to pursue her, who's recently divorced. Like I'm hoping that they dig into that a little bit more too. And I want to see if like she's just catching a rebound or if she's like genuinely interested in this dude. And her asking Issa for her opinion, I feel was kind of whack. Like at some point we got to stop asking our single friends for opinions when they're in
Damn, we can't even.
What if she
you're
was
saying the
just
blind
like,
is leading the blind?
what if she was just like throwing Issa a bone, like,
Yeah, like trying to
Oh,
connect,
yeah.
like, you're still like important or whatever.
yeah.
That's
You know what I assumed when she said Omar and the divorce, I assumed she was talking about Dro. Now it's coming to my mind that Dro was the one she's fucking with the married guy. And so when they said divorce, I thought Dro. But Omar apparently is I don't know who Omar is. So I guess we'll find out.
He's a fuck buddy from college.
Oh, okay. Was he one of the people at the mixer or something like that?
Yeah. He was
Okay, got it.
yeah.
But you know what? I did appreciate, let's just be honest, how she said, I didn't take him seriously when I was in college, but I'm not getting younger along, And I think that, like, I don't think that it's settling when you get older. I just think that you kind of have a different perspective in terms of realizing, like, when I was 20, maybe I was like, oh, I don't like how he texted me instead of called me. Done, But when you're in your 30s, you're like, okay, I can be a little bit more reasonable. Ashley, what do you think about Molly's consideration of Omar? Is it desperation or is it just being a little bit more mature and reasonable?
I think it becomes desperation when the nigga ain't shit. Like if she was, let's say it what it is. If he really is trash and you are going after him, then that's a level of desperation. But Omar, he got a degree from Stanford. You know, he may be successful. You know, if he is divorced, not married, not separated, and she goes after him, then I think that's a good thing. I mean, Molly has clearly made some real tough decisions with her relationships when it comes to dating old boy and his brother. Andrew is his name, right? Andrew, and dealing with his brother and that issues and her
Oh
not
yeah.
able to, incorporate him in her life. And then you have Dro that she was talking about that was whole married, that she was cool with being a
Yeah.
side chick or a side whatever. So I think if she goes after him, just make sure he decent, he a good dude. You know, he not just I don't know.
Well, apparently he was fine. I don't remember him
I
being
don't
particularly.
remember him in the mixer.
I guess
He
I
was
wasn't paying
cute.
close enough attention. I'm not saying he's not. I'm just saying I don't really recall. Now, I will say that Lori. I'm sorry, I don't have I'm like my screen is a little further, so I'm like trying to look and see what's going on. Molly seemed to be trying with Issa this episode compared to last season. It was a little refreshing. That
Yes.
is such a good point. Last season, Molly was being a total bitch, maybe because she felt
Mhm.
confident because she had her boo and things are going good. Career got a man, boom, boom, boom. Issa's the big fat loser in Molly's eyes because she always looked down on Issa. But now she's feeling a little bit more humble. She's feeling a little bit more vulnerable. And so
Mhm.
she's trying a little bit harder with Issa. That's my read on it. Season, what's your read on it?
I agree. I mean, I think she really was. I mean, she made it clear to Issa in the last season, like, this relationship, this dude is hella important to me. So, don't ask me for shit. And then when that went to shit and like, I think we've all been there where we've had a friend or been that friend who kind of got brand new in a relationship when they got a relationship and had to come back with their tail tucked between their legs after they
Yeah.
got humbled.
Yes.
So I thought that was cool. I mean, I said last season, like, well, shit, I don't remember what I said. I just remember saying something like, Molly's gonna need Issa before she needs her.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
she, and it was awkward. Like, almost every conversation they had was awkward. Even this last scene they were in together when they started laughing, that was awkward as fuck. I was just like, it felt like Molly was definitely trying harder than Issa was. Issa was just she was just keeping it cool, keeping it
Yeah.
Mhm.
I
copacetic, and
definitely
and
think that.
Molly was definitely like, are we still friends? Are we still?
Yeah, it's clear that Issa is like probably more okay with Molly not being like
Mhm.
super close and tight knit with her than Molly is. It could be because of how things went down. I mean, Molly was a total bitch about like the block
She
party,
was.
and now Andrew is gone. And so I don't know. I'm just petty. But I will say I do think that it was really sweet of Molly to pick up on how Issa was feeling after the panel. She was feeling a little defeated, and Molly really kind of picked up on those cues and
Mhm.
really like was being a thoughtful friend, which she has been. I know I just said that she always looked down on Issa, but more times than not, Molly has been there for Issa. But switching gears. Now, Nika says, I hope I said that right. Oh, that's my girl.
Hey,
Monica.
Nika.
Okay, girl. She
Kiki
said they were
Nika.
serving budget for the wardrobe. HBO cut that chick. Oh my goodness. I thought their office was cute, girl. What you talking about? I thought her outfit and hair was cute.
Oh,
Tiffany had on the HBO pink and green Gucci down to the socks, whatever. But I did notice that Issa got that black car Uber ride this time, but I don't know if that's because Stanford was sponsoring. But let's talk about Issa. Okay. My biggest complaint last season with Issa is like I want to see Issa win. I'm tired of her always losing. And I know maybe that's stupid of me because this show started off as like awkward black girl. It started off like it's insecure. So obviously she's not gonna be like super like confident, like I'm woman hear me roar. But damn, that panel was pathetic for her, huh?
It was
Like
the
pathetic, but
panel
it was
was sad.
also real.
It was real. Go ahead, Shar.
You know, because in one of my homegirls and I were just talking about this recently about how people glamorize entrepreneurship, but it comes
Mhm.
with some real stress. And I think we don't give enough credit to the hard work and the perseverance that it takes because we're always looking for that end result or, you know, what success looks like, being able to quit your 9 to 5, et cetera, et cetera. But there's a huge level of the hard work and sacrifice and blood,
Yeah.
sweat, and tears that you put into your own shit that people don't always highlight.
And
Yeah.
a lot of times people don't show the process. They
Yeah.
show like, okay, now that I've made it, I'm like, yeah, look at me. But like all the times that they're like failing or grinding, that's not as glamorous to show.
Right. Or all the
Um,
times you even wanted to quit on yourself and then you had to remember like this is mine. I can't quit on myself. So
yeah.
it's like I felt like there was a level of vulnerability in her panel interview.
And go ahead, Susan.
I feel like with the panel, like she was excited about it. She was happy to be there. She felt like she was getting recognition and important. And then as the panel went on, she just started to shrink and really let other people's answers get in her head. And it was, she could have conveyed the message that she did in just a more well thought out and practiced way. I mean, it's like she just got up there and blanked out and was like, damn, well, I don't know what I'm doing up here. I don't know what to tell you guys. Like,
Yeah.
I might actually suck. And it's just that is typical for for her
Yeah,
to
it's
just
right.
choke up whenever it's fucking time to communicate. Like, girl, can you communicate and be articulate and get all your thoughts and shit out and make sense? Like, so I was disappointed because, like you, I want to see her win. So
Yeah.
that was her opportunity. Bitch, you at Stanford, okay? They sent a car for you, and you just like out of nowhere, you're just like, oh shit, I
Yeah.
suck. And I was just like, oh my God, okay.
Yeah. I think like to Michelle's point, Ashley, comparing yourself to other people is just recipe for a disaster. Like, yes, you're at Stanford. Yes, people are super accomplished. But she needed in that moment to like just stand in her truth and not kind of compare to other people. What is your reaction to like how the whole panel went down?
I completely agree with you guys. I love the fact that she had such an honest moment because especially with like TikTok, you can see somebody's happy moments in their business within a minute and it makes you think this is easy. I can do this. You don't see that process of them making that minute was actually 4 hours or whatever project they're working on or how long they've been working to get to this point, with their business. So I really appreciated the vulnerability and the honesty of that moment. I wish she would have stood in her truth a little bit stronger.
Yeah.
Like you didn't said it, girl. It's out there now. Stand on it. But then it was like a really sweet moment that her friends were still trying to pump her up, even in that awkward moment.
Yeah.
I really like that. Like everybody else is quiet. They're looking, but her friends are like, regardless, we see you. We recognize that this is a good moment for you and you telling your truth. Even when she went, her and Molly had that conversation while they were walking and Molly gave her props and said, and kind of boosted her in that. I think Issa is on brand with the awkwardness, right?
Yeah.
She's on brand with the insecurities of the moment. But I appreciated that even in that moment, she was still kind of that honest person of this is what I'm feeling right now. And this is what's the real about being an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
So,
no, I think it was genuine. I mean, of course it's a fictional show, but in the sense of the show, it was on brand.
yeah.
I think though, if you just look at like let's talk about panelists and just the whole sphere of that space, the trick is to do that, but do it from a position of strength, not a position of like I'm calling my pants down and I just feel like a complete fucking idiot and I'm just like brain farting on the stage. You know what I'm saying? But obviously she's not a professional speaker, so I'm not going to critique her in that regard. But I will say who was the star of Issa's plotline was Mirror Issa. Mirror Issa, the young Issa, was funny as shit. Like, I mean, I love the concept of like, oh, you go back. I mean, I haven't been to any of my reunions, but like, I like the concept of like, imagine if you got the chance to talk to your like freshman year, like super awkward,
Yeah.
person. Like, what would they ask you? Like, what your priorities were back then. And then, like, what would you say to them? Like, okay, let's just go around real quick. Just one thing, not related to the show. What's one thing that you feel like 19-year-old you would ask you? Like, what would be the thing that they would ask you? And what would you say? Just thought exercise. And in the comments, you guys, come on, I want to hear some good shit from some people.
Oh, mine will be like, we not broke still, right?
Show me the money. Okay.
We got monies in the bank, right? Like,
Yeah,
that would be the question. Yeah.
Okay, Shar.
Gosh, I'm not sure.
That's a good question.
There's so many questions that's running through my head. Have you figured any of this shit out yet? Like, are we still dazed and confused about this thing called life? Like, do you have a answer?
Just one.
Just one.
The answer is
Right.
yes, right? Yes, you have a.
Oh, yes. So,
Yeah.
like, fast forward, yes, figured out a lot, went through a lot of trials and tribulations to get to where we are, but we are wiser and a lot more knowledgeable.
Just keep going. Keep going.
You got this.
Okay, Season. What's your one question that 19-year-old you would have asked? Mirror you.
Man.
Beater season with the cut in the front.
I know, because let me see. So I was a sophomore in college. I was kicking it. I mean, I don't know what I would ask myself. I mean, I don't know.
Boo!
I didn't have it all figured out, but I probably would ask myself, like, do you get married? Stupid shit. I'm sorry. I was having fun at 19.
Yeah. Okay. Fine.
I really wasn't focused on.
What about you, Reese?
Yeah,
okay, so maybe not 19, but certainly 18-year-old me would have said, "Do boys like you?"
Oh, Reese,
yeah,
you blew the fuck
they like
up
you.
in college.
Yeah, I was like, for those of you guys who don't know, I did not have D's in college. I was like the tall, super skinny. Like, I wouldn't call myself awkward. I mean, I always had confidence. Don't get me wrong, but when I went to the dances, what's it called dances? When I went to the little parties and shit, boys were not asking me to dance. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have boobs like that. I was not popping. And so I would have probably asked, I know that's so not progressive and like I'm Roman Henry Ward, but I would have wanted to know, like, do boys like you? And I think I would be happy to report to 18-year-old me that I'm very happily married. And I had many years of rejecting many guys out there. So but anyways, let's move on. We got a comment. Let's see. My mirror 18-year-old college selfie would want to know, do you still drink Smirnoff Ice and get wasted? I know the fuck you don't, girl. Yes. Okay, but
I will say this.
Okay,
the mirror scene had one of the two favorite lines from this episode for me. She was like, "Jamel's cheating on you."
I wrote that down. She said, "Shut up! Look at you. Jamel's cheating on you."
Jamel's cheating on you. She's like,
yes.
It was like that little, like, girl, fuck you. Like, you trying to make it seem like I ain't shit. You weren't shit back then either. Like, you didn't have to
cheated on. That's if a bitch ever told me I'm getting cheated on, I'm like, that's them fighting words.
Especially if it's you telling you that.
Actually, no. That's not fighting words, because Shar told me back in the day that my dude was cheating on me, and I was like, thank you, bitch. Thank you. I'm finna ride to that nigga house right now.
College. We have known each other since college. That was so funny. She sure did tell you he was cheating.
I was so happy. Y'all, she told me my ex-boyfriend was picking up another bitch in my truck.
Mm.
Shar, girl,
I cannot
that's
stand
solid.
you. I
So
cannot stand you.
yes,
No, he was dead wrong. He was
he
dead
was
wrong.
dead
I
wrong.
felt like
Dead
you needed to
wrong.
know. I
I
was in a
thank
similar
you.
situation recently, and I was like, this is whack. And I was friends with the girl, and I felt like she was kind of braggadocious about it, and I was like, you shouldn't
Oh,
be braggadocious.
oh,
Like,
oh.
nah,
We
not
got
for another
Take
chick who I don't like. I don't
Right.
dislike season, so I'm about to put on
Well,
my.
you know, every once in a while I go past her Facebook page. Ain't nothing going on. His either.
Well, now you don't even need reunions because you have Facebook and like Instagram,
What's
right?
going on over there,
Right.
baby?
Krista says you just needed a reason. Okay. Let's move on though. But I will say, I think Issa has glowed up. You
Yeah.
know, I think
Yeah.
all around
Mhm.
total glow up from the first season, and especially if you look at Awkward Black Girl. So go on, Issa, get that money, get that HBO money.
Mhm.
But yeah, okay, I think that we've gotten all that out the way. Let's see, the robbing. Okay, the robbery. Let's just briefly touch on that.
Wow.
Yeah, let's see. Brooklyn says, the thing for me during the robbery, Molly made a move to protect Issa. She made a subtle move to put her behind her. That was cute. They had a lot of conversation though during a robbery. Like I would just be like, whatever. But I thought that was kind of stupid just because, like, if they were in the ATL, the whole robbery shit would have made a little bit more sense, or maybe even Hollywood. But like, I don't know. Maybe I'm stupid, but is that an Oakland thing to be robbing people, especially like an inside job? Like that just seems a little
I mean,
strange.
I hear Oakland could be pretty
Oakland, yeah.
rough.
Isn't Oakland like grimy or something?
But damn, why couldn't Cheyenne set up one of the white folks? You got all these rich ass white people, and you gonna
Hello.
sit up there and jack two black girls that you cool with? Like
Right.
crabs in a barrel shit right there.
It was weird. It
Yeah.
was weird. It just kind of was. I didn't expect for them to be robbed, and it wasn't like it was a good surprise. It's just like, okay, is this just a moment y'all throwing in here to give another tightening of the bond between Issa and Molly? I mean, that's the only thing that really came out of it. But other than that, it's like, it was funny she didn't want to steal her shoes, though.
That was funny. I mean, it had some comedic relief, but bitch would be going to jail as soon as I got back to motherfucking
Right.
California.
Absolutely.
I mean, to LA. The police. Okay. But yeah,
They laughed it off.
That was the part for me. It's like, okay, if y'all adrenaline did not come down that fast. I
Right.
mean,
yeah.
That was weird.
Yeah, and
whatever.
okay, that's fine.
And then Tiffany and Kelly were like, "What? Like, bitch, I would have been gone up out of there if she was."
Yeah, I would still be. Yeah. It was a lot.
That was a miss for me.
Yeah, that was a misfire. But okay, last thing, Lawrence. Now, of course they would break up, right? I mean, he got a whole not even break, but pre-reunion baby going on. But there's a part of me, and I know they manipulate us every single season, where when he picked her up from the airport, I was like, oh, okay, so they're gonna work it out. And then when she gave him the whole I've been thinking, I was like, oh, here we go with this shit again. Okay, just show of hands. Is anybody team Issa and Lawrence? I'm like halfway. I'm like maybe like 3 fingers up. No, okay. Let me start with you, Shar. Okay. What was your reaction seeing Lawrence pick up Issa from the airport? And what was your reaction when she gave him the news that she's been thinking?
Yeah. I was excited to see them still together. I was excited to see him pick her up. They kissed when they greeted one another. So I was like, okay, great. Like they worked it out. And
Yeah.
I figured, or I would assume there was some level of like growth and evolvement on his part that would make her trust him enough to get back with him as he has a baby. Like I figured there was like, putting myself in her shoes, there would have been tremendous strides that he's made. So for her to like awkwardly then say she's been thinking, I'm like, now what? Now what did he do?
Yeah, but he also like seemed to kind of see that the writing was on the wall.
Yeah.
Ashley, let me start with you. Is a baby on the way like a deal breaker?
Yes,
You okay?
absolutely.
Oh, it
Absolutely.
is for me too, but I don't know. Was that question asked me or we get?
No, I didn't ask you that question. I didn't ask you. I didn't you-
Shark's like, let me clarify. Me too. Okay.
So there's no part of you that's like, I put in all this time, like I cheated this motherfucker, like made me pay for help.
I'm not ugly. I'm not uneducated. I'm not broke. I don't have any reason to be with a man that has a baby on the way. Like, I can understand there being a level of love there. They were together for what, 5 years, and the history and all of that. But she's not like a one night stand that he has pregnant. That's his ex-girlfriend that he was in a loving relationship with. So now you guys are going to share this bond that is completely unbreakable. And I'm going, what, be stepmommy? Nah, I'm good. Y'all go have y'all family. Y'all figure it out. You know, it's just way too, I think that's just way too complicated of a situation for a single woman who is trying to build her business up, got her own stuff going on, you know, doesn't, and not necessarily if she had kids, that would make a difference, but he has a fresh baby on the way. No.
Yeah, the baby ain't born. That's a lot to take in.
That's a lot.
Before we go to season, there's a lot of comments. Lori says, I guess she's team Issa and Lawrence. Okay, let's address this one a little bit after this stuff. Krista says that she's 50-50. I guess halfway team Lawrence, half not. Karina says, I like Issa and Lawrence together, but maybe now the door might be open for Nathan. You know, Issa and these guys, it's like a merry-go-round. I was happy at first, then the nonverbal communication breakup, where was the conversation? I know, like Lawrence versus Houston Hottie. Yes, that's Nathan. Okay. Season, your thoughts?
I'm not team Issa and Lawrence, not right now. Like, you need to go deal with he still had the job on the table for him to move to the Bay. Then you need to deal with the fact that you have a human being on the way and your baby mama's gonna need support. Like, he couldn't circle back to me until that baby was about 2 or 3 years old. You know,
if they under 5, they still having sex with their baby mamas.
Like, you not fit. Like, I'm like, because for me, especially having a child, I would be disappointed to see Lawrence take a job away from his child, and be all up under me when he should be, you know, changing diapers at 2 and 3 in the morning. Like, raising a kid is not easy. So he's the one who should be focused on that. He shouldn't be putting that decision on Issa. And if you know, and you know, Issa can really learn a lot about Lawrence and his dedication and just what type of man he is if he deals with this the way he should, which is stand up and be on call for his new child and his baby mama. Like, man up. So I'm not team Issa and Lawrence. I mean, no.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, if Lawrence decides to be a deadbeat, that's like not somebody you'd want to be with, because that's past his prologue when it comes to, you know, how serious a person takes their parenting responsibilities. I think that it's a little, I mean, I would personally, my ego, the way my ego set up, that wouldn't work for me. But
me neither.
I'm not saying, I don't think that it's unrealistic for several reasons. Number one, they have Issa and Lawrence's history is far more extensive than Condola and Lawrence's history. Condola and Lawrence had been broken up. Now, if Issa, I'm doing the math and be like, okay, hold the fuck up, because it seemed like the timing lines up to when we were talking, even though he says we weren't back together. Back together is a technicality, okay? So I mean, I don't know. I can understand why there's a territorial party that was like, I was here first, I put in all this work. We finally got to a good place. Y'all aren't together. I can understand a lot of this, how it can get to that thing. Karina says, Issa Lawrence ain't Melanie and Derwin, but we'll see. I remember that
They
whole
ain't
plot.
Gab Union in
And
Dwayne
Dwayne
Wade
Wade.
either. Y'all two
Ooh,
struggling niggas in Inglewood. Go on, take that L, baby, because Issa ain't never had no shortage of men coming
that
for
is
her.
true.
She don't
Lawrence
need
is
that.
damaged goods at this point.
He
I mean,
is.
there's a part of me that's just like, because they've taken us on this roller coaster.
Yeah.
Like, I want to see like the Carrie and Mr. Big, but Mr. Big didn't have a whole break baby on Carrie. So,
You sure didn't
but
have a baby.
I just want them to pick a side. And I know that's impossible. This is Insecure. They never pick one lane. But I agree with you, Season. Like, Issa's always had options. And I think Nathan is a good option. And then they have Kofi coming in the previews. So I
Wait,
just think,
what?
yeah, Kofi's in the previews. I guess he's gonna be like, I don't know what his involvement is.
Man, I'm team fuck Lawrence, fuck Nathan,
You can
What's
scrap them
Kofi
all.
talking about?
fuck all them. Y'all got Kofi coming? Oh, okay. We got
Yes.
Kofi from what? Girls Trip Kofi? Or
Mm.
Kofi from Queen Sugar?
Queen
that
Sugar.
Definitely not Ralph Angel. Ralph Angel better not come on this show.
Ooh,
It's not
I
quite
ain't
Ralph
here for no-
Angel.
I am not here for no niggas crying. I'm not
Have
here
you
for it.
seen Really Love on Netflix, Kofi's new movie?
Yeah.
Okay, it's more that Kofi, except for
Okay.
like not artists, but just more so like, I don't know, whatever. But
Okay.
I think that Issa has options, and maybe Lawrence is just too much baggage. And also, I just feel like when there's so much fucked up shit that's happened between the two of you, whether it's his fault or her fault, it's just like, just move on. Just
Yeah.
move on.
Yeah.
Clean
Let me
slate.
And
go.
then
Yeah.
they didn't even have the conversation. So the fact that she didn't even have to say nothing just shows how unstable shit has been for the last couple of months. He just
Yeah.
no fight, no can we talk about this? Like, you know what? I get it. Bye.
She
Like,
done, bro.
come
Well, I think
on, bro.
sometimes you kind of like know. Like, I mean, for instance, when I I broke up with my cheating ass ex, and then he was like trying to beg and plead to get back with me or whatever, and I entertained him like somewhat. But then like when I finally had that final like, bro, this isn't it. I was like, dude, you know me. Like, you had to have known like that wasn't like
Yeah.
this wasn't gonna go. Like, this wasn't gonna work. And he kind of was like, yeah, he kind of had to accept that, So maybe Lawrence just kind of like knows like, yeah, this is a lot to deal with. Like, he sure as fuck would not put up with a pregnant Issa who got knocked up by TSA Bay, and he decided to come back into the equation. So yeah,
Let's be
definitely.
very. Can we talk about it for a second?
Yes,
Can
hello.
we? Because these niggas would not take that shit from Issa. If she was to be the one pregnant,
Yeah.
they would be like, "Oh no, sorry, I can't deal with. I ain't ready for no baby. I ain't ready." Nah. So the
every
fact
time
that,
I look at you, I
it is-
just see this other man, and I just know it's a
Bullshit.
reminder. Blah, blah. Yeah, it would
bullshit. Okay. So yeah, Issa don't have, man. Fuck Lawrence
Fuck Lawrence,
and
baby.
that baby. I mean,
And
kinda
that baby.
but and that baby.
We want the baby to be born healthy, okay? But you know what? What was it? Tasha, the Best Buy girl, she called Lawrence a fuckboy in season
She sure did.
2. And he hasn't not been a fuckboy ever since then. So, yeah, okay, that's fine. All right. Now, the previews. So, Asha, you didn't see the previews? Did anybody else see the previews?
I saw.
That's right.
Well, I think that this season, what we can come to expect, first of all, I like that there's going to be some time jumps. It's not going to just be, like I said, 1 week of the whole season. But I'm not super confident that it's going to end where it's like, okay, our folks are in a good space. Like, they're going to go on to this trajectory of like happiness and love and prosperity. I'm just kind of like feeling a little bit like, but I do think that we will see a little bit more Kelly because of the whole podcast thing that she's doing.
Yeah.
So hopefully they just tease that out a little bit more and not just so like sidekick. Anything that you guys hope for this season? Did you see anything in the previews, Shar, and season that you were like, yes, okay, they're gonna get to that, or was it just kind of like, we'll see what happens?
Kind of like we'll
Well,
see what happens. Like I feel like it's going to be a slow climb. Today's
Mhm.
episode was slow, but just according to um their all of the interviews they've done to lead up to the premiere, they've been saying that they're going to bring closure to the show and to the cast. So hopefully it is a marathon and we'll get there to like the great climax towards the middle to the end of the season.
Yeah. Ashley, what do you want to see? You didn't see any previews. What do you
I
want to
did.
see?
I
Like,
mean,
is there one storyline
like
that you want
the
to see?
trailer of the
Yeah.
show, like that. I'm really excited to see Keke Palmer. I love her.
Mm.
I think she's gonna be a great addition to this show. She's also voicing the new Proud Family too. So I'm here. I'm really excited to see her. But I want to see what they do with Condola. That's her name,
Yeah.
right? I want to see what they do with her and Lawrence relationship and how they really show, like, is he the fuck boy that Tasha said in season 2, or has he evolved and really gonna step up with this new baby on the way? But I definitely think I'm gonna be mad if him and Issa get back together and he got that baby on the way. I'm gonna be mad.
It looks like the baby gets born. I don't know if the baby is born throughout the show or if they're just like holding, like, oh, practice with the baby. I didn't really understand what was happening with that season. Your thoughts?
well, I definitely think the baby is born because they show Condola um with the baby, and isn't that how Keke Palmer gets introduced? She's Condola's friend or something.
Yeah, I thought
Her
that was
cousin
like
or
maybe
something?
a baby shower. I feel like I saw that it was
Yeah,
like a baby
I thought it
shower.
was a baby shower.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, either way, I mean, they so in the previews they show that Issa gets a glow up. Her business, she has a building, she gets
Mhm.
funding, and she
Mhm.
has investors. So that's good to see. But of course, they kind of show her second guessing herself, and so I want to see that really turn into something great for Issa because because her heart's in the right place with what she wants to do and get accomplished in life. And she's telling Molly, I'm still driving Lyft, I'm managing these apartments, like I just want to do what I want to do. And
Yeah.
I know personally how good it feels to be able to just like find
Behind the
something you're
doors.
passionate about and be able to do it and get paid for it. So, I'm really that's if that's all I get from Issa this final season, then that's cool too. It looks like she's not going to be wanting for nothing as far as dating. Um, but they definitely make it seem like okay, so Lawrence, I guess he does take the job in the Bay,
Yeah.
but
And then he
then
moves back.
he moves back, and that
Doesn't say
and
anything.
and of course that they show Issa with her soap opera stare off, like, oh, he's back.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
don't really say anything about Molly. She cuts all her hair off, so she finna be living her best life on some salon shit this
Yeah.
season.
That's
So
how
good
it
for
goes.
her. But yeah, I hope they do Kelly justice. And I think they're probably gonna have Tiffany's husband and Lawrence have a lot of dad stuff, like
Oh, that would be
guidance.
interesting. That would be
Yeah.
interesting. Yeah.
So I would like to see that. But yeah, I'm gonna keep an open mind because
Yeah.
I just knew I was gonna come out here tonight and everybody was like, "Oh my god, I loved it!" And I was like, when it was over, I looked at Andrew like, "What the fuck was that?"
I did feel like that part of last season. I was like, okay, where are we going with this? Where are we going with this? Where are we going with this? And then they eventually kind of picked it up. So maybe
Yeah.
it's gonna have another slow start. But I mean, obviously it's gonna pick up because Lawrence moves and maybe Kamala has a baby, and then there's a lot of stuff that happens. But I think it's gonna be a good season, and like at the end of the day, I need some new shit to watch anyway. I've run out of almost every single one season murder mystery, a serial killer show on Netflix. Like I'm just here for a black show that comes on Sundays, where I don't have anything else to watch other than Real Housewives. And so I'm just excited about that. Oh, Chad is making a return. I like Chad. I think Chad is fucking hilarious. That's the Lawrence's light skinned friend who like was, y'all don't remember him.
He was always sipping on something.
He was always sipping on something.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
Chad, yeah. But Karina says he's still a fucked up friend. No, I think Chad has always been a good friend to Lawrence. He's just been, just a brutally honest friend. But anyways, y'all join us here again next Sunday. We're gonna be recapping it. Hopefully they give us a little bit more to chew on. Just give us a little bit more.
Give us some more, please.
Just give us just a smidge more. Okay, y'all gotten over, y'all kind of reset. Let's get a little bit more going. We'll see what happens. But thank you, ladies, for joining me. Thank y'all in the chat. Come back here next Sunday for another Insecure recap. Bye, y'all.
Bye.